Welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. Lots of positive triggers this morning. Top of mind, of course, is the GDP numbers that we discussed. But apart from that as well, plenty of stocks to track. So let's get straight to it. First up, we'll go across to Vamakshi. She's tracking CG Power and Tube Investments. Vamakshi, over to you.
Well, absolutely. It is a giant leap for the India semiconductor mission. The Union Cabinet has approved establishment of nearly 3 semiconductor units, and one of these is a semiconductor ATMP unit for CG Power and its tech partners. Now, the tech partners includes Renesas Electronics as well as Star Microelectronics, and this in fact marks CG Power's foray into semiconductors. The JV is expected to invest nearly 7,600 crores over a 5-year period, and this will be financed as a mix of subsidies, equity and potential bank borrowings as and when required. The JV will be owned nearly 92.3% by CG Power, 6.8% by Renesas and 0.9% by Star Microelectronics. The manufacturing facility will be set up in Gujarat, capacity of nearly 15 million units per day, and also keep an eye out for Tube Investment because it owns nearly 50% stake in CG Power. So expect both of these stocks to open in the green today.
Okay, well, thanks very much for that. Let's stick with the industrials theme, right? L&T is the next one in focus, and again, we're talking about new technologies here. Vivek, morning.
Well, good morning. That's right, a significant development. The company has gone ahead and commissioned its first indigenously built hydrogen electrolyzer at Harisa. This particular electrolyzer has a power capacity of almost 1 megawatt, expandable up to 2 megawatt. The electrolyzer can go ahead and produce up to 200 normal meter cube per hour of hydrogen, and it is that particular unit is used to measure the gas flow. So what does this particular move indicate? This particular move indicates that L&T can now go ahead and do product level integration as far as green hydrogen projects are concerned. Also makes L&T's bids as far as global hydrogen products a lot more competitive. It also allows L&T to go ahead and bid for Indian green hydrogen products which are planned by refineries on a public-private mode basis. So a positive development as far as L&T is concerned.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Vivek. Well, let's get in Ekta. She's here to tell us about Suven Pharma. Ekta?
Thanks for that. Well, this news was expected. It was in the works. The board has approved the merger of Cohance Lifesciences with Suven Pharma. So Cohance is basically the CDMO arm of Advent. They own stake in 3 firms which they put together and combined under Cohance. Cohance shareholders will get 11 equity shares of Suven for every 295 held in Cohance. Remember that Cohance has done well. Revenue was up 16% on a 3-year CAGR basis, 24% in terms of EBITDA growth as well. The combined entity will have pharma CDMO, specialty chemical CDMO and API segments. Now, it will also add a new segment to Suven, which is an upcoming segment in the entire CDMO space and holds prospects, which is called the antibody drug conjugate segment. So that should probably be a positive trigger today. Combined entity, revenue up 2x to around 2,677 odd crores, combined margins of around 37%, adjusted profit of around 677 crores, net cash at around 0.2 times. Proposed merger is expected to be double-digit EPS accretive from the first year of being effective without synergies as per the management, and going forward they've guided for mid-30s EBITDA margin, 30% ROCE. There's a conference call on Tuesday, but I expect the stock to probably be in the green because the synergies in terms of ADC drugs in the future would be positive for Suven.
All right, Ekta, thanks very much for that. CMS Info, ICICI Lombard are the other 2 names we are focused on. Abhishek has got details here. Abhishek, morning.
Morning, Prashant. So for CMS Info, Rajiv Kaul, the Executive Vice Chairman and CEO, has increased his stake in the company. So his stake is now at 6.2% versus 2.6% earlier. In a press release, he did mention that, the mission is to become India's best business services platform. Increasing the stake in the company demonstrates the focus and commitment on expanding and continuing their high growth and strong profit track record that they have had. In terms of ICICI Lombard, the company is now become a subsidiary of ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank, through a couple of tranches, have increased their stake to more than 50% in the company. So ICICI Bank over the last few days have purchased shares worth 1,787 crore in the company. This has taken their stake to a little more than 50%, which now translates into ICICI Lombard becoming their subsidiary. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Well, Biocon and Aurobindo Pharma also on our radar today. Ekta is here to tell us why. Ekta, morning.
Well, yes. For Biocon, I'll start with that. The US FDA conducted an inspection at the Biocon Biologics Campus Site 1 facility. They've issued 4 observations to the plant. But the inspection, as per the company, pertains to the RH insulin drug substance, which is basically a diabetes substance for veterinary use for a particular customer. So maybe the impact is going to be limited. The company has said that the outcome of the inspection does not impact the manufacture and distribution of the company's commercial products in the US market. Additional news on Biocon, they've also signed a settlement and licensing agreement with the pharma company Janssen, which is to commercialize one of the biosimilars in the US market, which is ustekinumab. It is used for irritable bowel disease as well as arthritis, etc. And they could probably start, pushing it out in the US markets as per the licensing agreement, Feb 2025 onwards. Aurobindo, US FDA completed inspection of the injectable site at Eugia SEZ. They've issued 7 observations, so I expect the stock to be in the red. But additional news on Aurobindo is that they've restarted production in their Unit 3 Eugia plant. Remember, that particular plant was issued 9 observations. They had stopped production in a couple of those lines because of the US FDA observations. So they've restarted production in some of them. It doesn't remove the overhang that the US FDA could act more sternly on the plant. In any case, expect the stock to be in the red.
All right, Ekta, thanks for the news as well as the pronunciations on a couple of those names in there. Let's get into Upasana. Upasana, you're tracking some more stocks. Please go ahead with the list.
Well, good morning, Nigel. First up is Tips Industries. Warner Music announced that it has expanded its agreement with Tips Industries Limited, and this strategic new deal gives Warner Music access to Tips Music's full extensive catalog globally. Well, next up is Chalet Hotels. This company has executed a deed of admission of partners with respect to acquisition of Ayushi and Poonam estates for 315 crores.
All right, thanks a lot for that. Here's a quick recap of our top stocks. Stocks with positive news flow: the CG Power, Tube Investments, Suven Pharma, CMS Info Systems, L&T, ICICI Lombard, Tips Industries and Chalet Hotels. While stocks with negative news flow are Biocon and Aurobindo Pharma. Let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, Siddharth Khemka of Motilal Oswal Financials will be with us for some fundamental stock analysis. We'll also connect with Natarajan Srinivasan, the MD and CEO of CG Power, as the Union Cabinet has approved establishments of 3 semiconductor units. So more on that in a bit.